Yeah, so the roll-up reports, the main idea here is that we're able to take sub-accounts and combine the data from them into single reports. This is going to be super handy for, marketing agencies who have multiple clients, senior living providers who have multiple locations, franchises that have that do like mothership style marketing, where the mothership franchise markets for many sub-accounts, or groups, automotive dealer groups, all these kinds of businesses that have this this multi-tenant idea going. So roll-up reports going to be super handy for them. I'm going to go over some of what you can do with roll-up reports, and I'm going to show some specific examples towards the end. So just to start off with, where do we use them? They're used in dashboards, and they're used in scheduled reports. The dashboards, I like the dashboards for like marketing people, like the people who can make changes to those numbers. Getting in and logging in, seeing a dashboard really easily is nice. You can build them for clients. I find a lot of clients are I don't know if it's not laziness, it's just they don't want to like log into something else. I like to use scheduled email reports for clients, because a lot of them, that is just an easier way of fitting in with the rest of their life. They get a daily or a weekly email. It gives them their KPIs. It shows them just what they need to know. And I find that has great effect. But your mileage may vary. You might have some clients who are super engaged and want access to dashboards as well. So that'll be up to you. In terms of a definition for the roll-up, this is just including multiple sub-accounts in the same report. You can group on sub-accounts of sub-accounts, because Active Demand has this really cool, robust hierarchy that you can build accounts out under. We can do some pretty cool things with these roll-up reports. So let's just talk about some of the reports that you can get. I'm going to talk about the first one, just basic account performance. If you're in an agency or you have multiple locations or something like that, this is really good for checking sub-account usage and really cost. Like this is straight up what you're going to be getting out of this. An example would be something like this. There's a roll-up report showing some different sub-accounts, and it'll show like minutes used, text messages, phone charges, what their contact count is, all the things that add up to their cost. Now, if you're an agency or if you're a senior living provider and you're like, wow, my costs are a little bit higher than I thought they would be, use this report, because this report's going to show you which of your sub-accounts are maybe causing an outweighed or unreasonable cost, and then you can look at what's happening in those sub-accounts. Maybe you're adding too many contacts, or maybe they're doing something weird with their phones that's causing the issue. But it'll definitely help outline where those costs are and what's happening. Or, I mean, the other possibility, if you're an agency, maybe you're going to charge that client more. Maybe you're going to do something differently with how that's handled. So that's this is super handy if you're an agency or if you have multiple sub-accounts. Definitely start off with this one, because this is super handy. Next, I like just real basic KPIs. Basic KPIs are great in Active Demand because they are filtered and not irrefutable, but let's say like less refutable than Google Analytics conversions or something like that. That was always a bane of my existence. I tell a customer that we got this many conversions, and they would say, oh, I didn't get that many leads. KPI metrics should be very well filtered, and they should be absolute truth. And then you can report on them without context on a weekly or monthly basis. So you don't have to say like, oh, well, this is too high because we got a bunch of spam fills, or this is too this because this happened over here. If you add good filtering, these KPI numbers should be not irrefutable, less refutable, and you should be able to send them to your customers on a scheduled basis, especially if your customers are very engaged. So the things I like to do with these are show primarily top-level KPIs, whatever conversion points I have with the client, potentially MQLs generated, potentially SQLs. So a sales qualified lead, that will be where sales has claimed the lead. Or as an MQL or marketing qualified lead, that's just where marketing says, yeah, this is passed muster, and it was sent to sales. Revenue would be like CRM data. So if we can get data from the CRM and put that back into our metrics, that's cool too. And just an example, yeah, they roll up. So on a client by client basis, I can see high level how many appointments they're booking out. Super handy if I'm doing location by location reporting. and I want to see how they're all doing, because this is going to just put all my locations in one report, and I'm going to be able to see like how many appointments they have, how many MQLs they've generated, all these kind of things from a high level perspective. Great for yeah, anything where you have multiple facilities. This is going to be super handy. The next style of chart to look at is the bar chart comparison. This one just takes that same data, except now instead of a number, it's going to put it in a bar chart. I would say that your locations or your sub accounts need to be in the same realm for this to make any sense. If you have one sub account that's like crushing it and getting thousands of phone calls, for example, in this example, and then all your other ones are getting like 10 or 20 phone calls, your bar chart's going to look kind of weird, and it's not going to be super handy. But if your sub locations are very similar to each other, these bar charts are going to be very nice for showing which location or which sub account is in the lead this month. In terms of email performance, so email, when we say email performance, we're talking about email campaigns as well as emails inside workflow. And we have a ton of widgets on these just because there's so many different ways of looking at it. So we can look at rates. What was the click rate? What was the open rate? We can look at totals. We sent X amount of emails. We had X amount of opens. Or we can do both. And both will be the statistics style of roll-up report. The calendar campaigns, those are like your newsletters, your multi-step will be, some of those will be in your workflows. So you'll be able to, basically, there's so many widgets, you'll just have to like pick what you want to report on. Imagine what kind of report you want. We probably have it in there. And by the way, we're actively adding to these reports. If you try them and you're like, oh, I wish it just did this, please let us know, because we want to make sure that these reports are great for all of our clients. In terms of why you'd want to do this as a roll-up report and not like a single report on a single sub-account, if you have lots of sub-accounts that you're doing similar emails for, this can be handy. You can see, okay, our Christmas campaign, we deployed our Christmas campaign across 10 different locations. Here's the performance rates of all those Christmas campaigns for each of those locations. Boy, that's nice to be able to report on that in just one spot. And again, great for sub accounts or locations, and just getting all the email performance for all the gang in one spot. And there's an example of what it would look like. So you can see emails sent, open. This is the statistics one, for example. So I have both absolute numbers and I have rates in this one as well. So that's kind of interesting. And then one of the other widgets that we have is an MQL trend line. I think that I would like to use this kind of widget to brag. I would use this to brag to potential clients about how many leads I generate, for example. So if I'm trying to close a new client, or if I'm trying to brag to stakeholders or something like that, I would use just this really simple widget just to consolidate how many leads I've generated for all my clients. So I could say, oh yeah, I generated 2,400 leads last month for our clients, for my clients. Do you want to be one of my clients? This would be great for agencies as a way to it's not a humble brag, it's just a straight up brag about your performance with your clients, and try to prove that you know about leads, you care about leads, and you measure them and know about, like, for example, how many leads you've generated in the last 30 days or the last month, and you can have that and have that very easily available. So fantastic for that kind of thing, or fantastic for showing stakeholders like VPs and that kind of thing how many leads your group is generating. Next, where to use them. Like I said at the start there, you can use them in dashboards, you can use them in scheduled email reports. I have a couple high-level dashboards that I use for myself. I typically group them by theme. So I have one dashboard for email performance. I have another dashboard for pay-per-click performance, and another one for SEO and that kind of thing. So that's how I like to do it. Some people might do it on a per facility or a per channel or what have you. And again, I would strongly recommend, like, once you mess around with the dashboards and the widgets and you find those good high-level KPIs, I'd encourage you to create scheduled email reports for stakeholders. If you're just starting on these, monthly. If you do like a manual monthly report, do them weekly. Set up like a weekly scheduled email report and just include the basics, like what are the KPIs? What are the high level things that I need to show that are absolutely important to show that I'm doing my job? And getting those out to stakeholders is some fantastic radical transparency, and I think more marketing groups out there should have that kind of radical transparency with their performance. Now, this is more of an FYI, but our Google Search Console or GSC reports widgets are live. This is fairly recent here, and the idea here is that we can connect directly to Google Search Console. We can import those widgets into Active Demand for reporting. Why do you care? Oh, I can just get my reports from Google Search Console. Of course you can. But remember what I was just talking about, like those scheduled reports to show that marketing was actually like doing their job and they're having an impact? Wouldn't it be cool if you could take your, I don't know, non-branded SEO traffic from GSC, filter the keywords a little bit, and then embed that along with all your other KPIs. So you can have your KPIs on how many leads you're generating, where the channels are that are driving the leads, and then now you can also include non-branded traffic that's coming in or branded traffic that's coming in to add some additional context to those numbers if you choose. Again, this is just another KPI or another metric that you can add into your reporting. If you perform SEO for your marketing group, doing like a non-branded filter like this is really going to help. So I'm just going to walk you through like a little bit of the technicals on this. There's a non-branded SEO traffic widget. I'm using regex, and like some people are scared of regex, but like the easiest thing you can do with it is just throw pipes between everything, and it will just match anything that has that or that. So in this instance, this will exclude any search that has active or demand in it. And my idea here is that this will give me my non-branded traffic, and it will track all of that traffic and how much is coming in on the website. So fantastic way to again add just another widget to report on how you're doing for your customers. So that's about all I have. We have more at learn.activedman.com. And again, the one thing that I would encourage you, if you go through those report widgets and you are trying to find something that isn't possible, or we don't have a widget built out for it, just let us know, and we'll see if we can build it out. Otherwise, there's also the possibility of creating custom widgets. So on the left-hand side, if you go under analytics and you go to custom widgets, you can build your custom widgets based on whatever metric and dimension you want to. But let us know, and we'll put it in as a default, so that it just makes it easier for you the next time you want to build it, and for everyone else who wants to build those widgets out.